You think your parents will be happy for us? Trevor asked. Well, of course. I mean, we are engaged, even though they were happy that we are been dating, but they would be really excited that we are going to announce our engagement to them. Yeah, it's true. Trevor and Jennifer have been dating since his senior year of high school, and both of them are now 20 years old. And quite recently, he proposed to her, and she said yes. He was really excited now to getting married to his girlfriend after 2 years. Even though recently they also went to tell his parents about their engagement. His parents were so thrilled for both of them. And now they were going to see her parents to announce their engagement. Even though he had met Jennifer's parents several times already, but this was more for because of their engagement. He was just a bit nervous, even though he had met her parents already many times before. And as they were invited inside her parents' home, they sat in the living room and, so, Jennifer dear, what brings you to our house? Her mom said with a big smile. Jennifer looked at Trevor and he nodded. Then he said, well, me and Jennifer are engaged. Both her parents looked at him and he was expecting that they would have this type of reaction. But suddenly, her father spoke up. I cannot approve this. Trevor was stunned. At first, he didn't even know what he said. Wait, what do you say? I said I don't approve your engagement. Same here, said Jennifer's mom. Why? I mean, we have been dating for 2 years, and you have no problem with us with dating? The main reason is that you have no job at all. I do have a job. Your so-called startup business isn't doing well, isn't it? Well, yeah, I mean, just recently started. It's of course it isn't doing so well in the beginning, but I just started only a couple of months ago. That's true. Trevor started his own IT business only about a couple of months ago. He only had a few employees. This was something that he wanted to do even after high school. He never had any intentions to go to college. Yes, and that's the reason why we would approve your engagement, said Jennifer's dad. He looked at Jennifer, hoping that she will back him up. But, to his most astonished, you know what? I think my parents are right. Let's call off this engagement entirely and just break up. Trevor was stunned. Not only that her parents didn't even approve this, but Jennifer, who has been dating him for 2 years, who had been very supportive of his decision to make his own company, now suddenly joined sides with her parents and disapproved this. He tried to argue while he tried to ask her, but she didn't say anything. She just said, yeah, you probably should leave. And her dad just said also, yes, please leave our house right now. We have nothing more to discuss about this. Please, leave. Trevor did want to start to argue about this, but he just didn't have the spirit. So he stood up, asked for the ring back, which she gave him gladly. And he said, you wasted my 2 years on this. You will regret this. And then he just left and took his own car and drove home. He was still living with his parents at the moment, since he was looking for to buy a house with Jennifer. Luckily, he said to himself, luckily I never thought of to find a house. When he got home, his parents was even home at the moment, but he ran into someone else, and that was Hannah. Hannah was his childhood friend who lived next door, and they were also in the same high school as him and Jennifer. Trevor, what's a long face? You have no idea. You wanna come inside? Have a drink? Yeah, you bet on it. I really need something to drink. So they went inside Hannah's house. She offered him a drink, and they sat on the living room couch. And at first, he just took a sip and said, "This is what I really needed. So tell me, what happened?" Then he explained every single detail. And Hannah should sit there listening carefully. And after he was done, she said, "She's an idiot. Her parents as well. Tell me about it. I cannot believe that Jennifer wouldn't even done that. I mean, you dated for 2 years and her family were supporting to your relationship, but what makes them to even to do this in the first place, you know? I mean, even when you were in high school, you did have this dream of yours, and you even had told them that you weren't going to college, since you don't even have the drive for that, you want to start working right away, and they supported it. And when you finally started your business, your IT business, and you even had only a few employees, and now you just suddenly felt they didn't want to support you anymore and just ask you to pull out the plug in their relationship with you and Jennifer. And Jennifer had the audacity to just go along with her parents. Tell me about it. It just, I really loved her, but my feelings for her are basically all gone. And the rest of the afternoon, they just sat there talking about childhood memories and even school days. And after that, he went home. And during dinner, he actually informed his parents about what happened. His mom was pretty much shocked, but his dad was beyond angry. How dare they? Dad, it's fine. No, son, this is not fine. Dad, it's not really much worth it. Trust me. If I really had a drive urge to do something, I would have done it all long ago. At least I'm glad that we didn't even get married and even have bought a house yet. Because if with that, I would have sold the house and yeah. So what are you going to do now though? His mom asked. Now, well, I put all my effort to my company to grow it bigger, to prove myself I really had what it takes. His parents nodded and said that if he need any financial support, they were willing to do as much as they can. He approved. He accepted that. And throughout the most of the time, for weeks, even months after this breakup, he was really excited to now be able to focus his energy and time on his company to grow it bigger. He wanted to prove himself that he was able to grow his company. Even during this time, Trevor and Hannah started to spend a lot more time together since they were childhood friends. He really thought much about this, and after 6 months of him being spent time with Hannah, she did say something to him that really much blown him away. She told him that she had been in love with him ever since back in middle school, but she never had the courage to tell him about her true feelings. But now she did. He even asked why didn't she never told him back in high school. She was planning to do so, but when he started dating Jennifer in the senior year, she didn't have the courage to do so. And she didn't want to have his happiness broken. So she literally backed off and hoping for the best. But when she learned about the breakup, or at least that she broke off engagement with Trevor, Hannah felt somehow both angry but also happy at the same time that Trevor wouldn't have to spend all his remaining years with someone like him, like her. And he was happy about it. And after that, Hannah had confessed her true feelings for him. He decided to do something that wasn't much like himself. He asked her out, and she said yes. So ever since then, they started dating. They went usually on small dates like dinner, movies, or maybe just car rides together. Then, exactly 1 year later, when Trevor was on in town by himself, suddenly he heard a voice behind him. "Hey, Trevor, there you are." He turned and it was actually someone he didn't want to see ever again. It was Jennifer, his ex-fiancée. "Jennifer, what do you want?" "I'm sorry, but I am only on my break for only a brief moment." "Well, my parents had find out about your company had grown so big, you were doing so well, and they finally approved about us to be getting married. So what about it? You want to get married with me now? I mean, you prove yourself to be much better in your company." He couldn't even believe it. It had been exactly 1 year since their engagement was called off. And now, after a year, she has audacity to simply show up and asking him to take her back. Now the fact that his company had grown bigger, that he had just opened a larger office building and was making a good profit, and that her parents, they suddenly now approve him of that. But he like, "Jennifer, it had been over a year now. We called off our engagement a year ago. And you even were not much, you didn't even question about your parents' actions. You even went along with them. Why do you think I would even want to decide to be with you now? Huh? Have you thought about it?" "I'm sorry, but it's not happening." Jennifer stood there so surprised that he was not saying that it's gonna happen. "What do you mean? I mean, we can just always get engaged again and just get married." "Well, first of all, that is not happening. Two, I'm already engaged." "What? With who?" "That is not your business. Please leave me alone, and I just don't want to have nothing to do with you ever again." Then he left without saying another word. But Jennifer was not giving up that easily. She even went a couple of days later to his company, to his reception. Jennifer told the receptionist that she was there to see him. When he went in the lobby, he was like, "Jennifer, I told you once before, I'm not wanting to see you again. So if you come back here, I will consider that as trespassing. So please leave my company and be alone. I'm already taken. So please leave." But Jennifer tried to make an argue that she's a way better partner for him than his supposed fiancé. At that moment, Hannah walked in. She said, "Trevor, you forgot your lunch today again." Sorry, sweetheart, but I just heard it this morning." "Wait, you and Hannah?" "No way. Jennifer?" what are you doing here? And yes, me and Trevor are engaged. So can you please leave my man alone? There is no way for you and him to be back together. Jennifer tried to argue it now with Hannah, but now they had called for security and they dragged her out, and now she was banned from even approach the building. Now that's taken care of. Thank you for the lunch. But Trevor believed that was the finally done that he had to ever interact with her. But boy was he wrong. Turns out, the next step was in fact when her parents showed up. First time when he saw them was in fact in town when he was on a break. Oh, you two. You two. Is that you wanted to say your future parents-in-law? Parents-in-law? Yes. I mean, you just recently got engaged to Jennifer again. Congratulations. It turns out that she had lied to her parents that Trevor supposed to propose to her again. What lies did your daughter tell you right now? Lies? Yes. I am not engaged with your daughter again. I have no intention to do so. What do you mean? Her dad said a bit angry. Of course you are. No. I am already engaged. Break that engagement off and be with our daughter. That's our final word. You can't force me to do something what I can't or don't want to. And I won't allow you to even show up my business. If you try to even to interfere with me or even to go to my company, I will take legal actions on you two. And if Jennifer, I won't even hesitate to have a restraining order against her. So please leave me alone. And the last time when he saw Jennifer was only about in a park. Please, just listen to me. We should go back together. Jennifer, I tell you once before, no means no. And don't lie to your parents about us being together again. If you keep doing this, I will file for a police report for stalking, and I will require to do a restraining order against you and your parents. He said firm at her. She realized it was pointless, so she left without saying another word. A couple of months later, Trevor and Hannah had their final wedding, and even at the wedding reception, Trevor stood by Jennifer with Hannah and said, boy, my life would have been really weird if I actually went through the marrying her. Yeah, that's true. But you know, it is something else I want to tell you. Oh? And then she whispered, no way. Are you for real? She just nodded and said, yeah, I just found out this about a week ago. Turns out, not only that now they actually got married, but Hannah was also pregnant with the first child, and he was excited. And they even made the announcement at the wedding reception, and all the guests were just happy about it. Later, they actually went to their honeymoon for about a week. They just had a great time. And afterwards, the daughter was born, which they named Sarah. But throughout the time, Trevor wondered always how would his life have been if Jennifer's parents never had disapproved his engagement with Jennifer in the first place. He may had also wondered would they had somehow tried to influence his company. The last one he heard about Jennifer is that she tried to date another guy from high school, another classmate of theirs. It worked out well until it turns out that this guy was cheating on her with another girl. She was devastated. When she saw Hannah, Trevor, and their newborn daughter Sarah in the park, she felt devastated. She said that could have been me with him. But now she is just looking for a new partner. And about 2 years later, they had a second daughter, which they named Gina. There were times even Trevor may often wondered how would his life have even been if he did actually end up marrying Jennifer. But he didn't have to be worrying about it anymore because she's no longer involved in his life, and that was all he asked for. And Jennifer, she never even approached him or Hannah ever again. From what Hannah understands, or at least what she heard from a mutual friend, is that Jennifer had moved away from town, hoping to find a new career and even a future partner somewhere else. But that was the last that anyone heard from about Jennifer, at least for many years, until they later learned that she did end up getting married and was happy. But even so, despite what happened in the past, Trevor often did wondered if Hannah had told him about her feelings for him years earlier, all this would even have happened. But he is just happy to finally to be with the one he loved the most in the whole world, and he couldn't have asked for any better partner than with Hannah. And this is how Hannah and Trevor found a true love, got a big family together. The end.